So, some time passed. Saskia had a lot of time to think about things, and now began to start to understand. On that day, Taylor was just sorting out their chest with their special pieces in they collected so far, and then she stopped Saskia and said to her, "Hey, I learnt something, you know. Do you remember when he said something about the Heart of the Sands? The archivist?" "Yeah. Well, one of the pieces we need to make that piece is not too far from here, believe it or not. It's literally across the river. And all we've got to do is take down a giant crocodile, and I mean, we've defeated a giant crocodile before, right?" "Yeah," thought Saskia. So, what about it? I'm ready to go if you are. Let's go get it." "Okay," said Saskia. So with that, they made sure they got plenty of food and water to take with them, and made their way across the river. "See," said Taina, "the cave's just in front of us there. I told you this was just a short run. Problem is, there's somebody stood outside, and they look kind of armoured. Should we go speak with them?" "Well, I suppose we better hide. I mean, conversations we've had so far have gone okay, right? Can't be wrong this time, So they approached the female that they saw stood outside the cave, and wondered who she was or why she was here. Maybe she's another helper. So cautiously they approach. "Hey ladies, what brings you to this place?" "My name's Tessa, by the way. I've kind of been around here a little while. I've noticed you guys running about, but didn't want to approach you in the past because I didn't know whether you think I was friendly or not. But hey, anyway, just a friendly word of advice. If you're going into this cave, be careful. Yeah, it's rather nasty in there. Quite a few crocodiles and one big one at the back. Although I do believe if you can kill it, it does give you something rather useful. So I just thought I'd warn you, seeing as I was in the area. But good luck. Maybe catch you around sometime." "Okay, thank you," said Saskia with a kind of a taken aback approach. Yeah, thank you for being friendly too. We'll be careful. Hopefully we'll survive it. Were you here for the same thing as well? Were you trying to get the piece so that you can remove your bracelet as well?" "No, there's not much point me doing it yet, really. I'm kind of meant to be here for a little while longer just yet, but I believe it's in there, and there's two of you, so I think you'll do just fine. Anyway, I gotta go now. But like I say, take care, and you never know. May see you in the future." Again, another dark and dreary looking cave. But Saskia wasn't afraid, because she had Taina with her. She'd not let her down yet. She'd not tried to kill her yet, so why would she be afraid? Cautiously they entered the first cave, and sure enough, there were crocodiles, lots of them. Which for Taina were a piece of cake, as they say. One by one. Except for the odd one that would sneak past. But these two were used to this by now. They'd been fighting many creatures at the time that they'd been stuck in this place. So they really were not afraid now. So they made their way into the back area of the cave and could see at the back just what Tessa had warned them about. A huge great crocodile. Hopefully they could deal with the regular ones first and then take out the big one to hopefully get what they're looking for. So in they went, carefully tiptoeing into the cave, trying not to pull too much aggro at once. But then, here comes the big boss. Saskia sent Taina in to try and deal with the big boss, as she took care of the little boss. Sure enough, Taina just went to town on the boss. and completely destroyed the giant crocodile, which they then needed to harvest for a special resource called the Scourge Stone piece. Or was it just a myth? Let's see. Saskia chopped up the huge beast, threw away the pieces they didn't need, and sure enough, there was the piece of stone that they were after, just as Tessa had told them. It was true, it did exist. That was piece number 1 of 3, discovered. Now they just had to work out where to go next. First of all, they wanted to get back out of this cave, because it did not smell very nice at all. So they very quickly made their way back outside. As they were leaving the cave, they noticed that their friend was back again. And they thought, okay, this is strange. But okay, maybe she forgot to tell us something. Let's see what she's got to say. Hi, you're back again. Thought you were going. Yeah, I just had a thought. If you do manage to get that piece from in there, there's 2 more you're going to have to get. I meant to tell you. They're up in the swampland and the jungle. One of them is in a not very nice cave also, like this one. Bit more icky than this one because it's full of spiders and a weird creature. But the other one should be fun because that's guarded by a human. And you're going to have to run past a load of humans or enslave them on your way through and slay them. Because it's the boss of that area that you're going to have to get that from. He keeps it very close to him. So if you can get it, yeah, good luck. But yeah, 1 piece in the swamp, 1 on a human. In the far northeast. A place called Buccaneer Bay. Those guys are pirates around there, so they're used to stealing stuff, so go steal it from them, I guess. Oh, okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, well, bear that one in mind. Thank you. And stay safe. And yeah, hopefully see you soon. Other pieces are in the jungle. What do you think? Saskia looked at Taina and said, what do you think? Do you think she's having his on, or do you think she's telling the truth? She looked like she was telling the truth to me. That cave's not going to be very pleasant, and yeah, drunken pirates, we should be able to handle them, if you're up for it. Yeah, why not? Let's go. And with that, they made that long, tiresome journey back to the jungle once again to go and attempt to claim these other 2 pieces. And this is going to take some time, so we'll catch up with them in a little while. Time fighting their way through a disgusting, dirty, damp swamp. They came across this rather formidable looking cave entrance with what appeared to be a face upon it. This must be the place that Tessa was talking about. But it's a place too dark and too dangerous to mess around in. So they went in together to see if they could find the creature that they were looking for to get this other piece. A fight that should hopefully be easy, but who knows. So we'll catch up with them again in a little while. Then in the gloom of the cave, at its deepest point, Saskia thought that she could see some sort of beast roaming around. Maybe this is what they're looking for. Is this what's going to give them the piece that they're looking for? Yes, I think it is. So again, Taina got to work, doing her thing. And sure enough, once again, made light work of even this creature. So now, was this piece even real? Yes, indeed it was. 2 pieces down, 1 to go. So, they now just have to make their way back out of this place with the long climb out through the muddy, murky swamp to the northeast to go and pay some pirates a visit to hopefully get that final piece. So we'll rejoin them when they're a bit nearer. So once they'd made it to where they believed they needed to be heading over in the east, they noticed two drunken sailors, pirates, whatever you want to call them, hanging about by a tree. They figured there shouldn't be any trouble, so they thought, let's go ask them where their boss is. Maybe they'll tell us. So carefully they approached them. Hi guys, sorry to bother you. And yeah, they just seemed, the male just seemed too drunk to care. The woman just stayed leaning on the tree, giving them a stern look. So Saskia asked, could you tell us where your boss is, please? Huh, you want to know where our boss is? That's easy, he's where he always is. You see this big old rock around the corner, with a bridge going over it? Yeah, that's where you'll find him. He's always there, up the very top. Fool. Drunken idiot. Bit like this idiot here. But yeah, that's where you'll find him. Now get lost. Okay. Thank you. And yeah, we'll leave you to it. They seemed a bit off. Well, they say he's just at the top of that rock. So what do you go say? What do you say we go find out? And with that, they made sure their weapons were ready because they didn't know what they were going to face. Just because those guys were friendly didn't mean the next ones would be. They made their way around into the bay, carefully keeping an eye on everybody because they just didn't know what to expect. Just because those two were drunk and didn't care doesn't mean the next ones will be. So they made their way around the bay as carefully and as politely as they could, trying not to arouse any suspicion or draw any attention to themselves, because that was the last thing they needed, is any unwanted attention. But as they went, they paid close attention to what was going on around them. They did notice people walking around, but thought, if we don't have to fight them, so be it. Although they still went weapon in hand, just to be safe. They noticed someone walking around. Will he see them and come and attack them? Doesn't seem to have noticed them, so they carry on. Or maybe he did. But again, not a problem for these two. Not a problem for these sorcerers. An easy kill.
One last look at the sword was all I wanted.
So with that, they spotted an entrance to the rock and the ship that the drunken pair had told them about. So they approach it and make their way to the top, where a long and intense battle would take place on their way up. So we'll rejoin them as they get to the top. After slaying what they thought was pirate after pirate, and crafters and fellow sorcerers, they reached what they believe was their final destination. So carefully they made their way up the final twisty stairs to where they believed the one person they were looking for would be waiting for them, where they were told the captain would be. But first they had someone else to deal with. Boom. And then Tina goes, it's okay, I can fly, look at that trick. And just like that, she appeared back behind Saskia. Then they spotted him, the captain. And Tina went to do what Tina does best. You'll dance for me now, or you'll swing for me later. And just as always, she slayed them all. And just like Tessa had told them, and like the pirates they had just encountered had told them, the final piece was on the captain, as they were looking for. Now they had a long journey, and having taken that final piece, Saskia saw a vision in her mind of a place with a rather strange human, chanting rather strange songs, who could help them turn these 3 pieces into the piece that they needed. But this was a long journey back out of the jungle. They were tired, they were hungry, but they decided to make this journey as it was on the way home. So we'll catch up with them in just a moment or two when they arrive at this destination. And after a relatively smooth journey they came across the place that Saskia believed she saw in her vision, or certainly the outside of it, with some more creatures that they were going to have to fight their way through before they could get to where this guy was who they needed to see. So, carefully learning their lessons from combat before, they made their way along the side to deal with some what looked like horrendous creatures. They looked like nothing that they'd seen before, but together they could slay them, no problem. Although day by day Saskia was growing in strength, she still felt at ease, knowing she had her companion with her, that was happy to take most of the work off her and do it for her. Because as she'd sworn to her in the first place, she was here to help her. She was here to help her till the end. Whatever the end may be, she was going to be by her side. So they got close to the structure that the vision showed, again guarded by what appeared to be 2 more of those beasts. Whereas they approached, they got jumped by one. Together, they took it down, only to be jumped by the next one. And together they fought like true sorcerers and took them down. These creatures were definitely things that they'd never seen before. They reminded them of the saber-tooth, the big cats in the jungle that they'd just been fighting, the panthers and what have you. But these look different, these look undead and disgusting. Then they spotted the entrance to the place. Once inside, although very dark and they could barely see with the torch they were using, Saskia felt like she'd been here before. It's as if she knew where she was going, although she couldn't see very well. It was like an invisible force was showing her the way. Was this her sorcerer power? Was it real? Was it for good or was it for evil? She didn't know. But then they spot the person they need to speak to, so they approach him.
A mad fool went wandering in a sandstorm. Eventually a man happened along and said, "You mad fool, what are you doing in this sandstorm?" Look out! It's that mad person again.
Yeah, I think you're a little too mad for me, dude. But thank you for what you've just given us. Don't have much time. I'll leave you for the next person to spout your delusions to. But thank you anyway. So with that, they made their way back through the strange temple or ruins, whatever it was. It was a strange, dark dusty, sandy place. Somewhere they didn't want to be for too long. Because they were tired and they were hungry. And they just wanted to make their way home. And once they found the entrance, they made their way outside. And then made their way home. After the short journey home and a meal together with her friends, Saskia collapsed on the bed and fell into a deep sleep, exhausted from their adventures, but feeling good that they were potentially now halfway to escaping this place, if this is even a place that can be escaped, if this is even a reality, or is it just a dream? Oh Saskia, if only you knew. If only you knew.